Hi, this is Hank reporting from Kyiv, and this is my update on Russian-Ukrainian war. Let's see what happened around Ukraine in the last 24 hours. Vovchans'k is dying. 17-year-old Russian vehicles. Spanish Leopards. UAQA. Strengthening Ukrainian air defense. Professor of Oxford donates his prize to Ukraine. Ukrainian photographer Konstantin Liberov is now in Vovchansk, a border town that is roughly half controlled by Russian occupiers. He captioned this post on Instagram. These photos are the part of the large report on Vovchansk, a city that the Russians completely destroyed in a matter of days. These materials could have cost me my life. The car is riddled with shrapnel from a mortar, and then there was an hour during which my hands are still shaking. We were followed and pursued for a long time by an enemy FPV drone. The city is filled with death. Civilian bodies are on the streets and under the rubble. Despite this, volunteers and police continue under shelling and risking their lives to evacuate those who can still be saved, Konstantin wrote. This sounds terrible, just like the news sounded from Mariupol, from Bucha, from Irpin, from Izum, and many other Ukrainian cities visited by Russians. It's amazing that for more than 10 years they have been continuing their lies about the fact that all these dead civilians are a stage show, they are here bringing liberation and blah blah blah. What's even more amazing is that there are still people who believe this. I believe that history will put everything in its place, and after a while all those responsible will be punished in accordance with the international laws. I really hope that our soldiers will hold Vovchansk and that we will be able to free this territory of invaders. When a 17-year-old Russian BTR-50 attacks Ukrainian troops, it's bad news for the whole Russian war effort, Forbes writes in an article. They believe that these ancient armored personal carriers may not be the worst vehicles that Russia has sent to the front lines, but they are probably the oldest. They have 10mm armor and are a bit better protected than the Chinese golf cart. I understand that it's more than 2 years of such an intense war. We have already destroyed most of all the modern equipment that USSR and Russia produced to scare the whole world. We have joked that Russia could easily take over all Europe, as they believe, but they were too busy being beaten at Bakhmut. Jokes aside, museum exhibits on the battlefield look funny, but even the oldest shooting and driving junk can kill. Even the most drunken Russian drunk from Siberia with a rusty AK can kill someone. When they gather 300,000 of these drunks with rusty AKs, we have a big problem. I hope that we and our partners have enough strength and resources to destroy them all and liberate our lands eventually. The Spanish Minister of Defense announced at a conference on the defense of Ukraine that they are sending us a second batch of Leopard tanks, missiles for Patriot systems, and 155mm shells, anti-drone systems, all the most necessary for our defenders at the moment. I'm very grateful to Spaniards for their support. Even this is a small number, then Leopards are certainly better than Russian BTR-50s. Let's defeat them with technologies. I found an interesting site called UAQA, which is dedicated to popular questions about Ukraine, and it was created to help people abroad understand the situation. Roughly speaking, I'm doing the same thing, trying to explain the current situation as I see it from the inside. We discuss these issues with a lot of impersonal communication with my foreign contacts, but here I am saying this publicly. The website says that UAQA is a project aimed to help every Ukrainian abroad to find important answers to major questions about the war, Ukraine and its relations with Russia, as well as the project cooperates with the Center of Strategic Communication and Information Security under the Ministry of Culture and Information Policy of Ukraine and the Detector Media online publication. We use only verified information and express it in plain language. There is not a lot of information there yet, but there are answers to the most popular questions that arise against the backdrop of Russian propaganda, such as there are Nazis in Ukraine. Let me remind you that our president is Jewish and our Minister of Defense is Muslim. Find a more diverse company and tell me. I will leave a link below. Take a look at it and share it if you find it useful. Members of NATO supported Germany's initiative to strengthen our country's air defense. Canada, Norway, Netherlands, Denmark, and Belgium will provide financial support, and the US, France, Spain, Lithuania, and Romania will supply missiles. I remind you that Netherlands previously said that if someone has a Patriot system to sell, they are ready to buy it for Ukraine. Germany has announced its intention to increase its share of the budget for military support to Ukraine to 10 billion euros this year. The agreement is expected to be signed this summer. About 300 billion of Russian money is still blocked in Europe. Imagine how many interesting things you could buy with them. It's unfortunate that there is still no consensus on using the aggressor's money to protect the victim. I hope there will be a solution sometime soon. Mr. Timothy Garton Ash, British historian, author and commentator, professor of European Studies at the University of Oxford, generously donated his Lionel Gilbert Prize of approximately $36,000 to support the Ukrainian military. The Come Back Alive Foundation purchased drones, thermal and night vision devices with this money. I can't imagine a better use of the prize money I received for the book on modern European history than to donate it to buy equipment for the Ukrainian armed forces for victory. The future of the entire Europe is at stake in this war, after all, says Timothy Garton Ash. You know, when a history professor from Oxford says such words, I'm sure he knows what he's talking about. A person who has devoted his life to the study of history, the great events of the past and patterns in the histories of countries definitely sees much more than us, ordinary people. I really want to believe that his words will become a guide for someone. Please support the civilization in a fight against barbarians. That's it for today. This was my short news report on the Russian-Ukrainian war for the day number 818. Thank you for watching and take care.